Hola amigos, I am Pedro, boy de Pedro, aka Texan Spaniard on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, Texan Spaniard Studios on Patreon and Coffee, and this is the audio version of Pedro is Marking Out, a blog of wrestling reviews that you can find on my Coffee at ko-fi.com/Texan Spaniard Studios. If you want to read the text-only versions, go there, and if you want to just hear them in audio, keep listening to this. And if you feel like donating, you can do that too at my Coffee. All donations are appreciated. Thanks, and on to the blog read. Hola amigos, I watched this week's NXT UK, the one with Kaylee Ray Mako 2. So you know what that means? Pedro is marking out for sure. NXT UK June 10th, 2021. NXT UK champion Walter opens the show up by coming to the ring and putting over his accomplishments so far and reminding everyone that his mission is still the same: to restore honor to this great sport, and he will never lose the NXT UK championship. I kind of hope he holds it for at least 1,000 days. That would be something. But he's approaching 800 days, so that is impressive nonetheless. He is the best wrestler on the planet today, in my opinion. So keep it on him forever, I say. Subculture has a short video segment venting some steam about Jenny and Joseph Connors and announcing that next week is going to be Danny Luna and Flash Morgan Webster versus Jenny and Joseph Connors. That sounds like it could be fun. Jordan Devlin versus Saxon Huxley. That was an interesting return to NXT UK for Devlin. Huxley ate him up for the majority of this match, just running total roughshod over him. The commentators did a good job of putting over how surprising this was, as Devlin was coming off a record-breaking NXT Cruiserweight title reign and was just being manhandled like no tomorrow. But Devlin did get his shots in and eventually hit the Devlin side backdrop suplex to pick up the victory, but just barely. Was fun and surprising, but not a lot to it. 2 stars. The NXT UK Tag Team Champions, Pretty Deadly, are going to be joining commentary for the next match. Interesting. Meanwhile, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang Gallus are talking to Sid Scala about doing singles when Sam Gradwell barges in. CC was interrupting something and proceeds to insult everyone and walks off. And the Gallus boys both want Gradwell in singles competition. Poor Gradwell. Symbiosis versus Andy Wilde and Dan Maloney. This was a surprisingly competitive match between these teams. On paper, you'd think it was just going to be a squash for Symbiosis, but Wilde and Maloney were given a lot of shine. Andy Wilde is really impressing me with every outing he gets in NXT UK. I know he doesn't have a great look and seems to be a bit older, but that guy is pretty good in the ring. But this was a pretty decent competitive match, and while it went on, Pretty Deadly were cutting a lot of promos, and that was fun too. Symbiosis get the win, and maybe we're heading to Pretty Deadly versus Symbiosis down the road? I'm for it. 2 stars. Tailman sits at a table with fancy glassware and candlelight and warns Oliver Carter about the dangers of getting on his bad side. It could put Carter in the hospital and make his family sad. And the lucky kid reminds Carter, Ashton Smith, his tag partner, isn't his family. I like that they are doing something with all involved, and I'm looking forward to Tailman Carter down the road. But main event time, and I've been waiting for this one. NXT UK Women's Title match. The champion Kaylee Ray versus Mako Satomura. And oh my god, holy effing moly ravioli, mark out to the moon, super duper mania. This is one of those times when everything comes together and we end up with like the perfect moment that is the result of an excellent build-up, and the outcome is maybe obvious, but it is the right one, and you know it is the right outcome because you're a little kid all over again, marking out like no tomorrow, and you feel genuine, real emotion because the investment paid off. This is one of those matches that reminds me why I love pro wrestling. So let's recap how we got here. Back in March, these two faced off in an epic title match. It was respectful but super hard fought, and Mako came up short, and Kaylee Ray beat her toughest challenge to date to continue her forever championship reign. Then there was a gauntlet match to determine a number 1 contender, and Mako was a surprise entrant after Xia Brookside got taken out by Amelie. I hope I said that name right. Amelie. Satomura went on to win the gauntlet and earn another shot at Kaylee Ray and the NXT UK Women's title. Kaylee Ray bowed to Mako respectfully. Mako bowed back, and when she did that, Kaylee Ray super kicked her in a show of total disrespect and dishonor. The final boss, Satomura, vowed to Kaylee Ray afterwards that she would not be forgiven for this disrespect. And here we are, the rematch with the NXT UK Women's Championship on the line once again. The dynamic in this match is so different from the first one. The first match was probably a better wrestling match than this one, but this one was more story-driven and filled with passion and revenge, and was almost more of a blockbuster playing to a bigger crowd than the first playing to the hardcores. Kaylee Ray's disrespect to Mako after that gauntlet match truly unlocked the relentless final boss version of Mako Satomura from Japan. Early on, Kaylee Ray tries to escape to the outside to get a moment, expecting Satomura to give it to her because she was so respectful in the first match. But Kaylee Ray destroyed any respect, and Mako gives her no time, instead coming out after her and continuing the relentless onslaught. This was the story of the match, a vengeful Satomura unlocking her ultimate merciless, unstoppable fighting spirit version that will not rest until you are dead, and have paid the price for paying her such disrespect like Kaylee Ray did in the post-match of that gauntlet match. Kaylee Ray tried everything and hit everything, and nothing could stop Satomura. Satomura sold, but she also pushed past all the pain and damage to continue coming at Kaylee Ray and pursue her to the point Kaylee Ray had no escapes. And the Forever Champion definitely tried to escape. She tried to just take her belt and leave, but Mako prevented even that. And so Kaylee Ray tried to hit her with the belt for the disqualification, but Satomura evaded and made her pay. There was going to be no escape this time, no forgiveness, like Satomura had said in all the hype. There was a price to pay, and Satomura made damned sure Kaylee Ray paid it, and then some. Forget about all that compelling passion play revenge business, though. These two ladies beat the heck out of each other and hit so many huge moves and bombs. This was so different from the first one. Yes, they hit big moves in that one too, but here it was like a lobbing of nuclear missiles in a blockbuster summer popcorn flick. This was big action that really should have played out on a big stage in front of a live crowd. Oh, this would have been in-fucking-credible in front of a live audience. Action-packed big moment wrestling infused with compelling story and passion. This is why we all love pro wrestling. The final stretch was great, not because it was dramatic, but because of how the story concluded. Kaylee Ray was out of escapes, and her forever title reign was out of time. And Satomura just swept over her with an unrelenting final wave of offense that was both typical of Japanese wrestling and also perfect for the story being told between these two. Mako hit Scorpio Rising after wave of bombs she was raining down on the champion, and that was it. Mako Satomura is the new NXT UK Women's Champion. From Gaia Japan in 1995 to holding gold and the largest wrestling promotion in the world, the WWE, in 2021. What a journey and what a moment. The red and yellow streamers falling down on Mako as she celebrated with the belt. This was perfect. And the best women's wrestler on the planet is holding gold once again. Fantastic stuff in my opinion. I loved all of this. I'm going 4 stars, and I recommend to everyone, if they want to watch this match, to be sure you watch their first match from March. Watch that one first, then the women's gauntlet match and the post-match, and then this one. Watch all of that and let the story sweep you up and away into mark out mania bliss. I truly marked out. I am totally satisfied pro wrestling fan right now. Thank you NXT UK, Kaylee Ray, and Mako Satomura for this amazing pro wrestling delivered to us fans. Catch y'all the next time I catch some wrestling.